Welcome back to another episode of the Real Health Podcast. We are still in the month of brain health, and the last episode of the month is going to be on top 5 brain-enhancing supplements. And I'm going to give it to you in 2 splits. I'm going to give it to you in a short term and a long term. So top 5 short term, like, hey, you're really trying to create an effect cognitively in the moment, and then top 5 just longevity brain enhancing supplements. So what do you want to do daily? And then I'm gonna throw in a spin there. I'm gonna give you an extra one that I just really love using, and talk about dosing of methylene blue. So we'll talk a little bit about that as well. So today, let's dive into those top 5. Before we do, next Tuesday, April 29th, is our Brain Masterclass. Make sure you go to our social media Instagram page and go to our link tree, sign up, register for our Brain Masterclass, where you can learn everything about how to heal, enhance, and create long-term health of the nervous system, specifically the brain itself. All right, let's get into it. Without further ado, what are the top 5 short-term mental performance-based supplements? So this is a short-term list, and the first one is a stack. So like right before I came to the office, one of my favorite things to consume is green tea, but specifically it's caffeine and L-theanine. So caffeine, L-theanine. So roughly the same amount of milligrams of caffeine is the same amount of milligrams of L-theanine. So if you do a 100 milligram caffeine dose, you want to do 100 milligrams of L-theanine. And what L-theanine does when it's added to caffeine is it creates smoother energy, creates better focus, and it reduces the crash and anxiety associated with caffeine. So if you find yourself, when you drink caffeine, if it overstimulates you where you feel good and then it feels like you have a little anxiety, maybe even a little tachycardia, a little stress, a little drop down, kind of this lull after, L-theanine, when stacked with caffeine, can create this amazing cognitive enhancing effect to create a better long-term energy, to create a more effective neuro energy, so cognitive performance. So if you let's just say you consume a 200 milligram dose of caffeine, 200 milligrams of L-theanine is appropriate. Let's keep it simple. You drink a cup of coffee, 100 milligram tablet of L-theanine is the go-to. I use a particular company in the office, but L-theanine is virtually all the same across the board. It's an amino acid that you can get to enhance caffeine and to create a really effective output. So whether it's short-term effect that you're looking for, or before workout, or even just before a project, caffeine plus the L-theanine is a great stack. The second one is an adaptogen. I really like rhodiola. Rhodiola is an adaptogen that has a great cognitive enhancement, but particularly it affects mental clarity under stress. So throughout the day, if you find like cognitively you are starting to get like brain fog, a little bit less focus, less clarity, rhodiola, or an adaptogenic herb, is a great enhancing supplement for the brain. But particularly what it does is it helps stabilize cognitive health throughout the day. Adaptogens are typically used as stress-reducing herbs, and rhodiola specifically is great for the nervous system. The way I consume it is through a supplement called Power Adapt. It's from a company called Natura Health Products, and it has a blend of multiple adaptogens, rhodiola being one of them. All right, number 3, if you're looking for an enhancer for the brain, creatine monohydrate. Creatine monohydrate immediately upregulates ATP production of the brain. Your maximal dosage absorption is 5 grams, so you don't want to consume really more than 5 grams in a single sitting. What I like to do for creatine is just take a 5-gram serving first thing upon awakening. So right when I wake up, I get a little glass of water, 4 ounces, put a scoop of 5 grams of creatine, mix that up, and knock it down. Most people think creatine monohydrate is great for muscles, which it is, because it helps drive better energy production. But in in large studies, it's been shown as a significant cognitive enhancing product. It's so cheap. Everyone should be on creatine monohydrate. It is a fantastic supplement to start taking. 5 grams creatine monohydrate first thing in the morning, every day, to enhance performance for the day. All right, the next one, N-acetyl L-tyrosine. So what we find is that we are dopamine addicts. We are always looking to increase our dopamine levels and or stimulate our dopamine levels. We do that through reward-seeking behaviors. We do that through training, through screen time. But our dopamine systems are very depleted. And what we find is that our addiction to these devices or to behaviors is associated with just trying to get your next dopamine hit. When you are low in dopamine, you are seeking more dopamine. Okay, so how do we enhance our dopamine levels to a healthy pool that we can draw from when needed without exhausting it and feeling like we need to support it? N-acetyl L-tyrosine is fantastic. It's actually been shown to enhance cognitive performance when you're under stress and even sleep deprivation, and it supports when you're in high pressure situations. N-acetyl L-tyrosine is definitely a go-to for me. Again, I usually use these in stacks in certain supplements, and you can search that out, or you can just take it individually. The last one is ginseng. You can take Panax ginseng in its just most raw form. I mean, go to an Oriental store of any sort, an Asian store, and you'll find ginseng as a supplement. You can take it literally as like a paste, almost like a tea, and mix it in water and drink that. Ginseng has been used in Chinese medicine for countless decades, and is a very great immediate cognitive enhancement without overstimulating the nervous system, because it really does. It acts like an adaptogen. So it's not going to get you too high. It's not going to get you low. It's going to create this nice even keel of energy, specifically to allow your brain to perform the tasks at hand. So yeah, these are my top 5 brain enhancing supplements. When we look at short-term effects, we are trying to create an effect right now. These 5 are my go-to, okay? Whether my favorite's L-theanine caffeine combination with a little bit of adaptogenic support, and I'm rolling. I feel great pre-shift right before I start seeing patients. Let's talk about the top 5 long-term brain-enhancing supplements. So what are the top 5 supplements I would take for longevity purposes, for the enhancement of my brain long-term, okay? The first one is lion's mane. Lion's mane is a mushroom extract that is fantastic for brain performance. When we look at lion's mane, we see it as its effect on like growth factors of the nervous system, specifically neuronal growth factor, or NGF we call it. It stimulates growth factors of the brain. Lion's mane is typically consumed in powder form. So you would get it, there's a company I get it from, it's called Real Mushrooms. You can also get it from, I think Four Sigmatic is another company that has high quality mushroom extracts. But you don't want to get low quality lion's mane. You want to make sure the company grows it properly, not on a bed of a bunch of junk starch, but they grow it properly. Lion's mane mushroom is a long-term cognitive enhancer, and has even been shown and studied in Alzheimer's and dementia. It's great if you're also trying to learn new behavior. As we see, lion's mane effect in neuroplasticity is pretty significant. Number 2, DHA. DHA is a type of omega-3 fatty acid that reduces inflammation of the brain. It's anti-inflammatory. It's also crucial for the actual brain structure, the structure of the cells of the brain. DHA is 100% a necessary supplement for everyone to be on. I mean, honestly, unless you're consuming a ton of sardines, slam down a bunch of wild-caught Alaskan fish every week, then you need to be on omega-3 fatty acids, specifically DHA. And out there, for all the pregnant mamas or those that are looking to get pregnant in the future, make sure you are taking DHA right now to increase your current level of DHA so you can form that baby, because that baby's brain is really developing those first 12 weeks of life. It is the most crucial time to have adequate levels of DHA. And if you're sick at all and you don't find out you're pregnant until 6, 7, 8 weeks, you're missing these critical windows of DHA support. Lion's mane, number 1. Omega-3 fatty acids, number 2. Number 3, glutathione. Glutathione is the most powerful antioxidant. And when we look at long-term brain health, what we realize is our brain is under aggressive attack from toxins in our environment, whether that's heavy metals, whether it's chemicals, whether it's microplastics. The detoxification of heavy metals and chemicals is so important to prevent neurodegenerative effects. So aluminum, for instance, is studied in Alzheimer's and dementia. And when we look at brain health over time, adequate levels of glutathione are necessary, are essential at long-term brain health and preventing neurodegeneration. So number 3, glutathione, a good quality liposomal glutathione. I really like a one from called Apex Energetics. It's one I use. It's fantastic. All right, number 5, curcuminoids, or curcumin. It is, in essence, extracts of turmeric. When you look at curcumin as a polyphenol, it would be hard to not consume it. When you really study it and its effects on inflammation in the body, curcuminoids, or curcumin, has such a powerful anti-inflammatory effect of the brain. And as you know, as we age, our inflammation levels typically increase. Anything we can do that's an anti-inflammatory effect is substantial. It supports brain aging, it supports brain mood, it supports brain memory formation. Curcumin, particularly when it's added with black pepper extract, and even in a liquid form, again, I get this from Apex Energetics, is a fantastic supplement to take. It's amazing. Number 5, one of my favorites to consume is phosphatidylserine. When you look at phosphatidylserine, and even its similar product called phosphatidylcholine, choline and serine are very important to the health of the brain. Choline, in particular, is essential for the structural support of the brain. So when you look at like removing microplastics from the brain, which is where they like to store, phosphatidylcholine, or PC, and phosphatidylserine long-term are really important supplements to consider. And honestly, just a small dose over time is all you need. It supports mainly the cell membrane of the nervous system, but it also helps improve memory and cognition performance. What we see is that it improves the signaling of neuron to neuron to neuron, so the communication of the brain. Phosphatidylserine, phosphatidylcholine are massive to start taking when we look at long-term brain health. I'm going to give you one more, and it's something that I take intermittently, and I kind of cycle on and cycle off. But it's called methylene blue. And I was talking to a patient actually earlier today about methylene blue. They were asking me about it. And, originally it was a textile dye that then went from industry to pharmaceuticals. It was used to treat malaria. It was actually used to treat urinary tract infections. But what it's being studied today is that it, in essence, stains your mitochondria. And the mitochondria are the power plant of the cell. So in order to generate energy, ATP production, the mitochondria are so important to care for. When we look at any neurodegenerative condition or even neurodevelopment disorder in kids, the mitochondria are suffering. Anything to enhance mitochondrial function is always going to play a massive role in preventing any type of disease or degenerative change. So methylene blue is something that you can take at about like 0.5 milligrams per kilogram of body weight. You got to take a high quality pharmaceutical grade. You don't take it all the time. Take it about 5 days on, 2 days off. But you build up this blue stain in your cells, particularly mitochondria, And then it even has an enhancing effect when you add a photobiomodulation to it, specifically red light. When you add red light to a stained blue mitochondria, it actually makes the entire cell come alive. The mitochondria come alive. This power plant come alive and drive more ATP production. It is shown to be antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, neuroprotective, enhances mitochondrial function, enhances memory, creates a better mood. And there's some cautions that you got to be mindful of. That's why any supplement recommendation today is just about learning, right? Teaching you, helping you understand more about supplements, but work with a practitioner who can properly support you, whether it's methylene blue or glutathione levels, or even just adaptogenic herbs. What's right? How much do I take? That's where having expert advice is so important. So if you look at the short-term effects, my go-to, L-theanine and caffeine stack. Long-term, for most people, it's going to be DHA. I think is probably the most important. And then when you look at like stacking or biohacking the brain, methylene blue should definitely be considered. These are top 5 short-term, top 5 long-term brain-enhancing supplements plus methylene blue. Don't forget to sign up for our workshop April 29th, which is Tuesday of next week, April 29th at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can sign up at our link tree at Instagram, Real Health Co. So thanks again for listening to another episode of the Real Health Co. podcast. Our passion is to add value to your healthcare journey. Anything that we do, we want to do it within a community to help as many people as possible. Thanks for listening to episodes of the Real Health Podcast. If you could subscribe, and you can share, it would help our mission to reach as many people with real health that produces real results for real people.